So how have you been coping with the difficulties brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic? Turning to alcohol appears to be on the increase since the pandemic began, especially among women who were already seeing an increase in heavy drinking pre-COVID-19. In this reality check, Darwin Singleton looks at how it can be a destructive choice and where you can go for help.
Lisa Taggart of Mobile is eager to tell anyone who will listen.
My sobriety date is 12/21/2010, and that means I haven't put a substance in my body since then.
One of her biggest supporters, Lisa's wife, Laurie Brunson. She understands Lisa's struggle with addiction because
I'll be 10 years June 25th. I had not had a drink for 25 years. I picked one up and it was like I'd never stopped. I mean, immediately. And so I kept drinking for about 3 years.
a year ago, just as the depression of the COVID-19 pandemic was becoming entrenched in our lives, Lisa and Laurie opened Door to Serenity, a residential house for those who need help escaping the vice of addiction.
We tried to create at Door to Serenity a home-like environment, where if 8 people could sit and watch TV together, 8 people could eat dinner together, we could sit outside in the yard together, around the fire pit together. We go to meetings together.
As fate would have it, their effort couldn't have come at a better time. It turns out the pandemic has been especially hard on women, with more and more of them turning to alcohol to cope. Why? Well, some experts say it's because of isolation.
The loneliness, being in your own head, feeling like you're not worthy. Yeah, it kind of fills that void.
And the increase is significant. According to a study by the RAND Corporation, while adults have increased alcohol consumption during the shutdown triggered by the coronavirus pandemic, women have seen the biggest jump, a 41% increase in heavy drinking, which is considered 4 or more drinks in just a couple of hours. Why women? Well, for some, it's a coping mechanism, as the pandemic forced them to take on simultaneous roles of parent, teacher, and often breadwinner. For others, it's simply the lack of social connections as events and venues shut down to prevent the spread of the disease.
Because even though if you're on Zoom and you have communication, if you're able to have the electronic capability, you're not connected to people. And isolation is the one thing that feeds addiction.
And that's when community resources like Door to Serenity become a lifeline.
And then if somebody needs outside counseling, there's resources, There's a community there's Bradford, there's 12 Oaks, there's Florida Springs. There's so many people that are just here willing to help. You just need to know where to go.
There are meetings every single day of the week, all over Mobile. All over Mobile.
Proof that while isolation may send you down the road of addiction, there are a host of understanding people waiting along that road to show you the way home. In Mobile, Darwin Singleton, NBC 15 News.
If you'd like to know more about Door to Serenity, we have a link. It is in the Find It section of mynbc15.com. If you don't have a computer, you can call them at 251-202-7235.